Hello, Jessica Amir for the Finance News Network. Joining me over the phone from Noxopharm is Managing Director and CEO, Dr. Graham Kelly. Hi, Graham. Welcome back.
Thanks, Jessica.
Graham, you've made an announcement about a prostate cancer study at St Vincent Hospital in Sydney. Maybe you can just tell us what the study's all about.
Okay, well, St Vincent's is one of a small number of hospitals around the world who are testing this new experimental treatment for men with prostate cancer, and we were asked to join them in that effort. It's a treatment that was developed originally in Germany as a clever way of getting radiotherapy to every cancer cell in pretty much in every part of a man's body who's got prostate cancer. Well, as this slide shows, late-stage prostate cancer in most men involves dozens, maybe even hundreds of tumours throughout the body, particularly in the skeleton, and that can be in every bone throughout the body. And radiotherapy is the best hope we have at the moment of hitting these tumours, but it just is not possible to expose the whole body to radiotherapy in the traditional way that we think of using radiotherapy. So the idea of this German treatment is to inject the radiotherapy intravenously and then let it find its way to each of these tumours. And it involves injecting a drug known as a peptide that it recognises the prostate cancer cells, and when it finds those cells, it binds to them. So it's a bit like a Trojan horse because the peptide carries a payload of a radioactive substance that exposes the cancer cell to radiotherapy. So once the peptide joins to the cancer cell, it's piggybacking radioisotope is then able to deliver radiation to the cancer cell. And in this way, the theory is that you can get radiation to every cancer cell, no matter where they are in the body and no matter how small the tumour might be. Now, there's been probably 700 or even 800 men treated with this agent around the world over the past 3 to 4 years. And the results so far could be described as encouraging, but not spectacular. About 50% of men respond to this treatment, but for most of these men, the response is incomplete, and even where it does happen, it doesn't last all that long. So it's extending life. We know our therapy is working, so for that reason, it's very worthwhile. But we in St Vincent's believe that we can do a lot better than what they're seeing at the moment. Now, the study we are conducting at St Vincent's is based on a simple proposition, that NOX66 will make the intravenous radiotherapy more effective. We believe that many cancer cells are escaping the effect of the radiation because not enough radioactivity is reaching them. And so the idea is that by getting NOX66 into the cancer cells, we will convert a weak radiotherapy effect into a lethal effect. So the amount of radiation the cancer cell is now receiving, instead of being able to recover from that damage, NOX66 is tipping it over into dying from that damage. The St Vincent study is known as the LUPIN study, which is short for lutetium PSMA in combination with NOX66. The aim of the study is to see if we can make more men respond to treatment, and by better response we mean that there's more men will have a complete response. By that I mean that all the tumour disappears, and that we keep those men in remission for a lot longer. The first data is coming through now, so we're in a position of seeing what is happening, and we're going to wait until we've got a few more men done before we provide the interim data. But the intention is that will be around about August.
And the company also announced another study in prostate cancer called DART-1. Just tell us what that study's all about and how it fits in with the St Vincent study.
Both studies have the same objective, and that is to use NOX66 to make radiotherapy a more effective form of therapy in prostate cancer. The difference between the two studies lies in how the radiotherapy is given. In the St Vincent study, we're giving it intravenously. In the DART study, it's being given by a more standard external method where a patient lies on a bed and then receives the radiation from a machine. External beam radiotherapy is the standard form of radiotherapy in late-stage prostate cancer. And where it is used, the aim simply is to relieve pain or pressure from one or two larger tumours. It's not possible, obviously, to expose all the tumours to radiation, so usually one or two of the larger ones are selected. And this is palliative treatment, meaning that it's not curative. All they're trying to do is to reduce the size of these tumours. But often these tumours are in sensitive areas such as the spine or near the heart, which means the dose of radiotherapy needs to be kept pretty low, and again that even means it's even more palliative. So the rationale of using NOx-66 is the same as before with the St Vincent study, to make the effect of the radiotherapy greater. So in the DART study, we're looking for two outcomes. The first is that those one or two tumours that are receiving the radiotherapy, instead of maybe shrinking 50% in size for several months, we hope that in the presence of NOx-66 that we'll get even greater shrinkage, up to 100% shrinkage, and that shrinkage will last for quite some time. Now, if we can achieve that, then we will have done something quite important that is completely disruptive to how we currently manage late-stage prostate cancer. So that in itself would be a significant development. But there's one other outcome that we are hoping for, and that is the possibility that all of the cancers in the body, not just the one or two that have been exposed to radiotherapy, that all those others will shrink or disappear as well. And that is the abscopal response that we've been talking about here at Noxopharm for some time. But I think it's important just to note that we don't expect to see an abscopal response in every patient. At this stage, we don't know what proportion will respond. We believe it will be relatively high, but we just don't expect to see it in every patient. So where we don't see it, where we've been successful in making the one or two exposed tumours shrink, we're still then dealing with, well, what about all the others? And that's where the St Vincent study becomes the backup treatment. So that's the rationale for using the two approaches. The DART study is recruiting well. There are 11 sites for this clinical trial now in 3 countries. And we anticipate that the first data from this study will become available in July of this year. I think that it's worth pointing out, Jess, that both of these prostate cancer studies are novel in what we're hoping to achieve, and they have enormous commercial potential outcomes if they're successful. If one or both of these forms of treatment become available for men with late-stage prostate cancer, then the financial outcome for the company is potentially enormous. Cancer Australia statistics predict that there will be at least 17,000 men diagnosed with prostate cancer this year. And not all of those men are going to have the fatal form of prostate cancer, but a significant number will. And in the US, the number of new cases of prostate cancer this year alone is expected to be 165,000. So this is a very large and problem, and it's a growing problem because we've got an ageing population. So this is why Noxopharm is so active in the prostate cancer field.
Well, Dr. Graham Kelly, thanks so much for the update and good luck with the studies.
Thank you, Jessica.